Welcome back to another episode of Garage Talk. Today we're talking about tools. In this series, we discuss all the things that have to do with supporting your passion for cars. We explore tools, tips, and techniques that will help you be successful in your own garage. So a subject that I really want to touch base on is all the tools that I think that have really taken my DIY mechanic game to the next level. And I'm not talking about your normal hand tools like wrenches and ratchets and impacts and things like that. I'm talking about the bigger ticket items, below $1,000. So all these things that we're going to talk about are things that can be purchased under a relatively normal budget. They are the more expensive things, but they're also all the things that you can run on the normal power that you can find in your garage and all the utilities that you can normally find in your garage. So this is my list of 5 things that I think you need to take you to the next level in the garage. So the first thing, which I think is often overlooked, overlooked, because it's above my head, is lighting. Because a lot of times just having a poor lighting situation can really hurt being able to see things when working in an engine bay or underneath the car, because I find myself relying on lighting a lot. This garage started out with just one little tiny light fixture in that corner, and that's it. That's all I had. I decided to go with this lighting system. They're actually not fluorescent, they're LEDs, so they're ballastless LEDs. You use a fluorescent light fixture. This is your standard 8-foot fixture, but you can wire this into 120 with no ballast, and the nice thing about these lights is because they're LED, they don't consume a ton of power, so I can leave these on all day and barely notice a thing on my energy bill. I think this was a really big thing that helped me out a lot, because I can work day and night in the garage and be able to see anything under the engine bay, and it really helps improve being able to work on things in the garage. So the next item that I found to be super critical in just about anything I do on cars is an air compressor. So air compressors are great for a bunch of different reasons. You can use them to obviously fill up your tires. You can use them to run air tools such as impacts and air ratchets and things like that. And they also be great for cleaning things. I use a little blower nozzle on my air line to clean off dust on cars or to clean off parts that I've cleaned oil and things out of. This is a 30-gallon Husky brand air compressor, and that is the Home Depot house brand. This is one of these good items that you could buy used, like on Craigslist, which I found this one used and it still has worked great. This is actually an oiled compressor. Oilless compressors are very loud, so if it's going to be a compressor that you're going to run in the garage with you, I highly recommend an oiled compressor, because you'll just blow out your eardrums listening to the oilless compressor. This is a 120 single phase, 60 hertz, just standard. I can plug it straight into a wall. It turns about 6.5 CFM, so I can run most of everything that I need to run. Obviously, without enough CFM, you can't run larger air tools, but I still haven't really ran into a scenario where this was not enough for me. So now you're probably in the investment price range of about $500 for a good air compressor like this. Honestly, to me, now that I have it, it's a totally invaluable tool. Now this is definitely one of those tools that now that I have it, I cannot imagine my life without it. It is a pretty powerful 120 volt welder. So most of your big industrial welders are going to run off of a 220 or 460 single phase or even 3-phase, which I just don't have here. I mean, I could wire a 220 plug into my garage if I wanted to, but that involves pretty significant electrical work to do so. It's called the MP140. It does up to 140 amps, which will weld anything up to basically 1/4-inch steel plate. I don't really do anything super structural, so this works perfect for me. Now this is a multi-process machine. It will do arc, TIG, or MIG. It's scratch start only TIG. The machine comes with an arc stinger if you want to use arc rod. I only use it as MIG, and this machine does flux core and gas, and I use a small bottle of 7525 shielding gas, 023 steel wire, and it pretty much does anything that I want it to do. The nice thing about this setup, it uses all Tweco components, so all your MIG gun stuff is Tweco, so I can buy tips, nozzles, all kinds of stuff, and it all works for Tweeko, which is really nice. This is obviously one of the more expensive things on the list. Whole setup cost me about $800 with the cart and the hood and the bottle and the regulator and everything, but it doesn't have to cost you that much. There are obviously cheaper options out there. They may not last as long or produce a good as quality weld, but honestly this thing produces a great quality weld and it pretty much does everything that I need it to do. So the next thing on the list I think that every garage mechanic should have is a folding engine hoist. And now I say folding because on the last episode of Garage Talk we talked about reclaiming your garage space, and I think that having a folding engine hoist is essential to doing that, because there are some engine hoist designs, especially when you get in the higher capacity engine hoists, that don't have folding legs, and I just think that's absolutely obnoxious because I have nowhere to store it. But because this one has folding legs, I can tuck it nice and easily back in the corner and it'll be out of the way unless I need to use it. Now this one is a 2-ton capacity engine hoist. That means at the most choked up point on the arm it does 2 tons. At the most extended point it does about 500 pounds, which is, because I work on mostly Japanese cars, that's perfect for me. I'm not lifting really big heavy engine blocks or engines and transmissions. It's really only going to run about $200 to $300 for an engine hoist. They're not that expensive. This specific one is a Harbor Freight one, which I've had for years and it works great. So this tool isn't just good for pulling engines out, actually helps make light of jobs that would normally take 2 people to do if you're doing it by yourself. So you know, a lot of times if I'm trying to like pull a transmission to do a clutch job on a car that's transverse mounted, I can actually rig the engine hoist up to drop the transmission out through the bottom of the car from over the engine bay and things like that. So even moving big heavy things around the garage, I have a big drill press in my garage and I use the engine hoist to hoist the drill press up onto the bench so I could secure it down, which there's no way I could have done that by myself. I think this is one of those pretty essential tools that now that I have it, I need it all the time. So the very last thing on the list, I feel like I take for granted, but I'm literally using it all the time. The Vises. It's my advice to you. Oh, so many puns in this one. Horrible, horrible. I like to use a mill vise. So this is actually a 6-inch vise that would go in like your standard CNC mill or Bridgeport mill or whatever. It has precision surfaces. I can take a precision piece out of a car and clamp on it really hard and not have to worry about damaging it. I mean, I use this for holding material to cut. I use it for torquing stuff down that I can't hold on to. If you wanted to buy a mill vise, obviously they're more expensive because they're precision, but you can find them used. You can find cheaper Chinese versions of mill vises that may not be as precision, but because you're using it for your standard shop vise, you really don't care about precision that much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Garage Talk, and I hope that this tool list will help you make decisions on what you need in the garage and what's really going to help you take your mechanic game to the next level. So like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you guys want to see next time on Garage Talk, topics you want me to bring up. Stick around for the next one because there's more exciting things coming your way.